Hi everyone, I'm Danny. Welcome to Neither Here Nor There, Conversations Across.
Pursuing your passion in the medical field. Hi everyone, my name is Christina, and today we have someone very special joining us to talk about the medical profession and everything around that. So any questions that we may have, she'll be able to answer for us. This is a classmate of mine from also Peru, so look at us compiling a lot of these South American connections.
Yep.
But yeah, so I'm really excited. Hope you guys enjoy.
All right. Hello, Patty. Hi, how are you? And tell me, where are you right now and where are you from?
Hi, I'm here in my house. I live in Lima, Peru. It's where
Oh,
I've been born and I've studied there and now I work there. So
Nice. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do? What profession? What do you do?
I'm a medical doctor. I've been in this field since 2009. So I've been I've been studying since 2009 till 2015. So I'm a doctor since 2015. So almost 10 years.
Yeah.
wow, that's so crazy. Yeah.
After medical school, we have to do rural service called serums here, where we have to
Okay.
go to some place a little bit far from home. In my case, I went to the jungle, to San Martin region, and I
Wow.
had
Okay.
to live there for 1 year.
Okay.
After that, I get to do my specialty in gastroenterology. That is what in which I work now.
Okay.
Okay. Gastroenterologist.
Gastroenterology.
Enterology.
Wow,
Enterology.
that's such a long word. But before we dive into what what this field means, were you doing this specialty in San Martin as well, or was it more general medicine?
No, I did my specialty in Lima,
Okay.
in med school in Lima.
But during serum that you mentioned, it's not focused
After
on that.
that, no.
Okay.
Serums, it's like something you have to do before specialty. It's like
Okay.
a requirement to do specialty in the country. You
Oh,
have to
okay.
serve for the country in a place where there are people with low incomes, people where you can help and do like some social work. So it's necessary to do the specialty in Peru. It's not the same in every country, but here it's a requirement.
I think that's a great idea. This is the San Martin is the what you were calling the jungle, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you
Yes.
lived in the jungle for a year. That's so
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, I haven't even been to the jungle.
What was that like? What was I want to ask a couple of questions, but first of all, is what was that like living in the jungle for like a year?
Yeah.
Well, it was like doing serums is a really nice experience. You have to go far away from home. It's the first time you actually interact like a doctor. You have to make decisions. San Martin is a really nice place. I live there in Moyobamba, the capital city of San Martin. The weather was really nice, a little bit hot by the afternoon, a little bit cold in the early morning. People are really nice there. They treat me really well. So I spent a really good time there. It was a really nice experience doing my serums.
Yeah, it's interesting. So, did you I know that you said that they require you to work in a more rural area, but did you choose San Martin?
Yeah, I chose. We have we're able to choose between a lot of regions, but I choose that.
That's awesome. No, I think a lot of I don't know if many countries require that, but I think that's a good way to also just give people access to different, medical services, especially in places where it's more limited. So I think that's really great. I didn't even know that Peru required that. So go Peru.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing that countries do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you get into the field of gastroenterology?
I'm glad you're in charge of saying that word because I can't say it.
I mostly know how to say that word because I remember when I learned about it 2 years ago, I thought it was such an interesting word because it was so hard to say.
Wow.
Gastroenterology. Anyways, how did you end up choosing that field?
When we study in the med school, the 7 years of career, between the fifth and sixth year, we have to go to we rotate in each specialty in hospitals.
Yeah.
So when I get to rotate in gastroenterology unit in one
Yeah.
hospital from Peru, I really love the specialty. My
Really?
professors are so good. They like make me love that. So when I was more or less in fifth or sixth grade of the career, I decided that I wanted to do that. And the interesting part of this specialty is that it's
Yeah.
not only like doing consults, we also have procedures. And it's like a really interesting way to combine medicine.
Oh wow! Like you mean like surgeries, that kind of treatment?
Like minimally endoscopic surgeries, maybe.
Okay.
Not
Okay.
not open surgeries like a surgeon. It's a
Yeah.
little bit different, but it has like two things to see it. No, you can
Yeah,
do
yeah.
consult. You get to talk to the patient, treat them, and also the other part is so amazing. So I really like that.
That's so great. Like honestly, I think I would have never thought about this field that I cannot pronounce, but I think I think it's very I think it's a very like I don't hear often people choosing gastroenterology. I think
got it right.
you hear more like I think peds or different family practices. So I'm really curious to learn more about this.
That's actually my next question is this a popular field that doctors choose?
Kind of popular, really,
Okay.
because of what I said. No, you have
Yeah.
procedures, you have the clinical stuff, so it's because of that. And the also interesting part of this specialty is that it's not only like maybe pneumologist, just lung, or cardiologist, just the heart. We
Right.
have to see liver disease, pancreas disease, intestinal disease, gastric disease, colon disease. So it's
Oh,
like
it's a very wide,
bit,
yeah.
it's a little bit wide.
Wow.
That
And
you have a lot of fields where you can go or specific specialize in that.
yeah. And and I know when we were coordinating this, you were on call. So are you often having to do urgent care or how does that work?
In my case, I work in a big hospital,
Okay.
in a national hospital, like one of the biggest in Lima. So
Okay.
I get to have patients apart from Lima, from other regions.
Oh wow.
So it's like a big hospital. And there I do consults, I see patients in emergency when I'm asked to. And I also do emergency only gastrointestinal bleedings. That's what we treat in our night shifts.
Wow.
That's pretty serious. Gastrointestinal bleeding.
Wow.
That's pretty serious.
So you're in the ER often as well, I would assume.
Well, I have guards once a week. So
Okay, so like night shifts or on
night
call
shifts,
shifts, I
yes.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah, night shifts once a week, and the other days I'm during the day doing endoscopies, colonoscopies, consult. No, it's like really.
So
we
you
have
you also sorry
things to do.
Wow.
you also do emergency. You have to also be on call for emergency care.
Yeah, so like for the bleeding that we're talking about and all these things.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm not like on call. When I do my night shifts, I stay in hospital all the night.
yeah.
So
Oh man, so she has to stay through the night.
once a
That's
week, just once a week.
yeah, but that's once a week is a lot.
Yeah, night shift.
To stay through the night, yeah.
Because then you have to switch your sleeping schedule. I've always wondered how that works. Does that
So do you lose sleep once a
are you like you're tired like consistently because your sleep schedule is up and down, or
I
Yeah.
think you get used to it. Maybe it's part of
Well,
work.
but-
So
that's a big contribution.
yeah, it is a big contribution. I don't
That's-
know how I would feel with my sleep being disrupted. Wow, that is such a first world problem for
I
me
know
to complain about.
this is too spoiled for us to talk about, but let's switch to more like concrete questions. So, but I'm curious now before we dive into like understanding more about the medical field, all the questions that we have. Did you consider like first of all, how did you consider to become a doctor, or did you consider doing anything else? I mean, 2009, we just graduated high school, and you decided to be a doctor, and you've been dedicated to that. So how did that go?
I always liked school biology. Maybe it was
We
like
did have a really good
something I
biology professor or teacher.
yeah, we have a really good one.
Yeah.
But also, it's something like family things. My dad is a doctor too. My
Okay.
mom is a nurse. My grandfather was a doctor too. So
Oh,
something from
wow.
that maybe influenced too. But I
Wow.
also like biology. So it was
That's
like
that's so
something
great.
that
And what fields were your dad and your grandfather practicing in?
my dad is a pneumologist.
Okay.
Well, he works in a pediatric hospital.
Okay.
And my grandfather was an anesthesiologist.
That's so cool.
Pediatric, yeah.
And an anesthesiologist.
Anesthesiologist.
Yeah, well, I can't pronounce any of these words, but wow, that is so amazing. A whole family of doctors. No, that's so great. So I guess you didn't have a choice, honestly, to do something different. It was in your blood.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that was one of my questions. Like, how did you get? Was there ever a point where you were like curious about another profession?
Yeah, like oh, I want to be an actress. I don't
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe I also liked veterinary.
Uh huh.
I like a lot of animals, so
Yeah.
maybe something like that, like taking care of animals, was something I sometimes thought, but it's almost in the medical field, no? So
Yeah.
Yeah, it also is in the medical field and working with other
Species.
beings, other living beings.
Yeah.
Is that something would you agree with that? You just wanted to work with
Like keeping people healthy. You know, I think
keeping
that's
people
a-
or animals even, because you said veterinarian
Yeah.
at one point.
I think that requires a lot of like a big heart. You know.
Yeah, to be working with people all the time as well.
you have to get to used to talk to people, try to understand. It's necessary to be empathic with people
Yeah.
because when they arrive to your consult, they are ill, they feel bad, they have problems. It's not just the disease sometimes. There is a background around there. So you have to learn to talk to the people and to understand their problems, not only, as I said, from the disease, maybe the background is important too sometimes. In gastroenterology, there is a lot of connection between the brain and some symptoms that you can have. There is a gut-brain axis we study,
Okay.
and there is a really big relationship between mood, between stress, and maybe gastric pain or abdominal pain.
Wow.
So there is a really good connection. So you have to be really empathic with your patients. So I've learned in these years to treat people, to listen, and I think I have a really good connection with my patients.
Yeah.
I did not. So are you saying that it's kind of that thing of like, if you emotionally don't feel good, you physically don't feel good? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sometimes it's that the problem.
What?
We're learning so much.
Because could that actually cause like actual like
Danny's having a lot of self-realization.
is that what causes a lot of like, can it cause serious issues?
Yes, stress, when you have some mental diseases, anxiety, depression, you can, I'm not sure if the word is somatize. You
Like somatic,
do
yeah.
yes, you do the symptoms of any disease just because you don't feel mentally well.
That explains a lot about a lot of people. I
No,
know.
shush. Because I was telling her I need to go see a gastroenterologist. So okay, I will go see a gastroenterologist. I kind of got a free consult just now from you.
Wow.
Okay.
World Health Organization talks about the meaning of health, and when they define that word, they say that the state of health in a person needs someone to be psychologically well, physically well, and in a good environment. So that's the definition of health. So it's something integral.
I love that. To be healthy, it's not just physical, it's also emotional and mentally well.
I feel like that statement should be more well known.
Yeah, if you Google
Yeah.
meaning of health from WHO, World
Yeah.
Health Organization, that's
Yeah.
what they
The
say.
first thing. Wow. This is good to know.
This is good to know. I didn't even know that was actually what was considered healthy.
But now I have so many questions because we started with like being empathetic. And I think, Betty, I'm just very curious because I know there's many different doctors from many different types. Not everyone is as empathetic, right? Not everyone treats medicine in the same way. We hear a lot of stories worldwide about people being, not treated as humans or, don't have that connection, or that even doctors don't have time to establish that because they have to see so many patients. Do you see that as a challenge in where you work as well?
Well, that's a big problem. Yes, because when we have maybe consult, we have like 1 hour, and in that hour we have to see 4 patients, or so.
Yeah.
15 minutes per patient, like
Yeah.
a little time sometimes. No, depends on the disease you're trying to treat.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to learn to manage your time. Maybe in one you can spend like 10 minutes because it's like a revelation of some exam you ordered, and
Yeah.
the other one is like talking to you, and maybe sometimes they start crying, or they are like trying to explain what they feel and they don't know how. So it's a really big difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
You have to learn to manage your times. Sometimes it's really stressing. Sometimes you go for a longer time and you have to stay a little bit longer. So it's difficult, yes.
That seems like a lot of pressure. That seems like a lot of pressure on doctors to manage their time very well. They also have to imagine if you're behind schedule, that puts a lot of extra stress on you.
That's why we see all these hospitals having short staff or all these challenges that come up.
Yeah. That just gives me a flashback to what happened during COVID times, and everyone was doctors and nurses were on quadruple shifts or whatever.
Yeah.
It just puts a lot of pressure.
But honestly, even here in Taiwan, I want to say doctors spend 5 minutes with each patient, if that.
Yeah, because they swap.
There's no time.
There's just no time, and you're waiting.
But these 5 minutes.
For me, it's 15, but I think it's a little time too.
And I just feel like the trend is that more. It feels like, I don't know the stats, but it feels like worldwide you hear short staff, or you don't have enough nurses, you don't have enough doctors. Do you also feel that in Peru?
Yes, there is lack of people working now, so we need more specialists, we need more nurses, more doctors. But there are also another things that don't do that. They hire that personnel because of there's no money to hire them, so sometimes we have to double work because of that. So
Double shifts and
something
everything.
it's a little bit tiring. Not always, but
Kind of inspires me a little bit. Makes me be I want to be. Because remember how I told you before, I kind of always wanted to be a doctor. My retirement gig was to go back to school and be a doctor. That makes me want to be a doctor.
Studied for 10 years.
I know.
You have to start studying now.
Start studying now to be a doctor.
Wow.
and actually you don't stop studying.
Yeah.
You have to continue studying. There always more new things, new technology, new meds.
Yeah.
Next year I'm planning to do a master in endoscopic field in Spain. So
Yeah.
I continue studying.
Yeah. That's it's an ongoing, never stop learning. How do you make sure you're up to date? There's just seems like there's always new information coming out.
Well, as I work in a big hospital, we have also residents. So we are also teaching
Yeah.
for the new specialists. So there we do some reviews of some information, new information. I also have some medical students from university that they are not doctors now, like from 5th grade. I have some students.
Yeah.
So I have to teach them. I have to read also to be updated.
Wow. So you have to teach also, like that's a lot.
It's weird because I've always known the doctors are really busy. Every single doc that I have known is really busy. The ones that are less busy, but they're also still busy, is the ones that are single, or the ones that are like, they don't have any kids and they have like, more freedom. But even then they're busy. But hearing you talk about this, it takes a lot of dedication and studying, and there's empathy involved in it. It's a very multifaceted field.
I mean, honestly, one of the main reasons why we wanted to speak to someone in the medical field is because, Pati, we feel like with all of the different jobs that exist in the world, like being a doctor, it requires a lot of self-sacrifice. You have to be willing to give up your time, your energy, just a lot of effort, versus I will say there are other careers that are not as intense, So
yeah, that was one of the reasons why we definitely wanted to talk to a doctor. And I was wondering, so like, did you get into this field because it was not, you wanted to also talk to people, but it was also because of research? Have you ever thought about, do you sometimes go, like you said, you went to San Martin? Do you sometimes have to go on different placements around to like different hospitals, different places?
I haven't been in another place like working maybe outside Lima. Mm-hmm. I've just tried to continue learning. I've been to another countries maybe to see other realities. Last year I went to South Korea. This year I've been to Mexico.
Cool.
And I went to hospital, so I actually know how they treat patients there. There is more technology, obviously, than in Peru.
Yeah.
So I've been learning from them too.
Yeah, but you still go to different... Is this like a normal practice in Peru? Does the government subsidize doctors to go overseas to study?
Actually, no.
No?
I have to pay for that. Well, to South Korea, I won a scholarship because of investigation I made. So I was like half financed from them, and I was there 15 days. And to Mexico, I went to learn for some advanced endoscopic procedures. It's like because I wanted to.
Yeah.
I have to pay for that. No, it was not. The hospital didn't pay for that.
That's amazing, though, going to different countries to learn all these different things. You're pulling yourself out of your own environment to go learn something new.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Is this something that other doctors in Peru do as well?
Well, I think it depends on the person, right?
Right.
Sometimes you don't have time because of your kids, or maybe you have to work a lot and you can't leave your job. So it's kind of something. If you want to learn more, you have to do an extra effort, maybe.
Yeah.
So,
on top of everything else already, it sounds like.
Yes.
Wow.
So from your experience in Peru and then going to different countries, do you see like a difference in maybe
like practice or how things work? You mentioned different technologies. Maybe you can talk a bit more about how that compares.
It's different. Especially in South Korea, I saw medicine was so advanced. Everything is so organized. They have like glass equipment. They do a lot of procedures that in Peru they're not oftenly do, and it's like common there. So like the insurance people have a big cover more things. In Peru we also have some things, but there are some procedures we actually don't do because we don't have the training enough to do. So we have to go away to practice and then return to our country so we can bring that to our country. So it's a little bit difficult sometimes. We don't have the same resources. There are some medicines that in Peru they don't get, we can get, and in other countries are available. So it's a little bit different.
Wow.
Do you think it helps with your creativity though? Because maybe, I don't know, coming up with
Think of new ways.
different solutions, so with the resources that you do have.
Sometimes we have to do that too.
It could help with inspiration and creativity because you're limited by what you have.
But I'm curious, like, how do you change that? Is that like a government thing? Is it a regulation? Is it just like, how do you maybe close that gap?
It's difficult to close that gap.
Yeah.
There have to be more government things to close that gap.
Yeah.
We need some more money maybe to buy those things. It's difficult. No, I think it will have to pass a lot of time so we can get to be like South Korea. In Mexico, it's different.
The gap is smaller. I'm just
Latin America, so the gap is not so big.
This is the funniest.
It's really
Yeah.
I won't say it's the same
Okay.
because it's not like in Peru, but the gap is not so big.
For me, it's very interesting to hear you talk about new technologies and new medicine and new ways of doing things, to be honest, because I know, of course, there's always new things coming out, but at some point I feel there's only so many things you need to, like, that can happen, right? And you can maybe improve on it. But it's very interesting to hear that there can still be big gaps that exist, even in technology, even in medicine, right? I just feel like everything is so globalized now that I would assumed the gap is not as wide, but it sounds like it still is, and there needs to be more effort put into closing that.
Yeah. I know that you've talked a lot about already some of the struggles, but I was wondering if there's any other not so much struggles, just
Like
more
challenges.
Challenges is a better word for what you do.
Oh, well, sometimes I think people think that like we're the doctors and we have to do what they want. Sometimes they don't remember we're also people, we have our family, we have also other things to do, and they sometimes want to call you on Sunday evening when you're with your family and you're not in work. Sometimes they don't understand you can have a bad day and you can be sad and you can have other things around your head. So it's like they think we're not human sometimes, I think.
Oh my gosh. That is so tough.
I mean, that makes, I can understand why that happens.
Yeah.
That does really suck.
Yeah.
Be dehumanized.
And I'm curious because, again, we hear this often with like people now having access to information, be it AI, be it internet. Everyone now self-diagnoses, right? Like, oh, I have this, or this is what I have, and I know more, and why are you not telling me this? Or like, is it becoming harder to do your job, do you think?
I think, yes, there's a little more information available for people. I have sometimes this conversation, as you say, no, why don't you tell me this? Or I have read that, or I've seen in a video on YouTube, TikTok, or something like that. Yes, but you have to tell that not everything you read is like what you have. So everything you have to interpret from the physical exam, laboratory exams. It's not like only writing your symptoms and the artificial intelligence telling you what you have. No, it's not like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's really precise in some diagnoses, but not always. And I think some people can think they have like cancer just because symptoms can be sometimes like the same.
Yeah.
So they get to worry more than what they need.
For sure. And I think along the same lines about information, because you mentioned going to these different countries, leveraging like the WHO, something that we are seeing a lot, especially in the US, there's a lot of debate about having like who's the authority on having a lot of this information, or people are debating on a very high public level. Does that also affect your job as a doctor? Having, I guess, these bigger countries that have always maybe set some of the standards being challenged. Even the WHO, right? There's a lot of political ties to it that makes it harder to go with.
I don't think it affects our country directly, because when we talk about medicine, we have to know where we are now. No, there is exactly not the same what happens here in Peru. It's not the same what happens in Asia or in North America. People are different, so not always the same. Things that they can say. So, for example, now you have to have this vaccine for that disease. It's not the same in all countries, because not the same diseases in the same countries. Not so. Sometimes not the same.
Okay, so that allows you to have a bit more authority in your practice that is not easily influenced by other organizations. I see.
We try to being influenced, but not always by everything, because there is
understand.
There's some different cultural things. There is not the technology, so you have to make things with what you have and with the people you have. So it's not the same.
Creativity. Going back a little bit to, because when you're talking about AI and the modern age in that sense, you've been you've been practicing for 10 years. I was wondering if you see a difference in either the way that you practice medicine, or the way that patients approach you now. Is it a little bit different before than it is now? Do you think, not just because of AI, just in general? Do you see a difference? Yeah. Because of technology, because of AI, I don't know if people they think they know better. Or do you feel like maybe there's less, I don't know, there's more disconnect in the community, maybe?
Well, maybe the people think they know more, yes.
They know more.
Because they Google and they maybe say, I want you to do or to order that exam because I read that I have this and I need that to know if I have cancer, for example. So I need a CT or I need an endoscopy. So order me the endoscopy. Just sometimes, yes, it can happen.
So people people have become their own doctors. They become their own doctors, telling doctors what to do.
Yeah, or they think they know better.
Sometimes it can happen. Not always.
Yeah.
Maybe as I work in a hospital where there are people that don't have so much education, maybe that is not seen every time. So maybe when you have more resources, it would be like more frequent that maybe. But I don't see that every day.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
Did that happen like 10 years ago when you first started?
But I also think, to Pati's point, sorry to interrupt, but I think it's more about this entitlement. Because what Pati's referring to is they don't have as many resources. Like, these people are feeling very grateful to be there, versus if you have access to these hospitals all the time. And I can see that differing in different countries as well, where most people have a lot of more access. Say a country like Taiwan per se, there can be a bit more entitlement, I think. Of like, I know what I'm saying, I know I'm right, versus here, maybe people are just more grateful to have access to a doctor.
Yeah.
Am I saying, is that more aligned with what you're saying?
Yeah. Okay.
So I think it's more that. It's not necessarily technology, but that. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the answer that I was looking for.
Yeah. So which is really helpful to hear this, Pati, because even though I did grow up in Peru, I haven't been living there in a while. So I forget there's still a realistic gap, right? About resources, about education, the people who have access to healthcare. Some places they don't have access. So even just having a doctor sitting in front of you is already so much more than what they can ask for, versus here, is not the case. See, as a doctor, she's on call.
Sorry.
No, all good. Well, doctors do play a really big part in like the day-to-day of like the community and all of that. And it seems like sometimes, again, from our perspective, maybe it's different in where you're working, but people are having this like different perspectives of doctors. The rules are evolving. There's less appreciation sometimes for the job that you do. Do you feel like that's becoming like how can that be addressed? How can that be improved on so that people appreciate doctors' efforts versus just thinking they are, just there to write an order, do this for me, do that for me, versus the critical role that they're doing.
Yeah, or to get people to be like, want to be doctors. Yeah. I feel like there's a shortage of doctors around the world. Does no one want to be a doctor anymore?
No, it's not like that. But if you want to get into this field, you have to make some sacrifice.
Yes.
I think if you want like the respect from your patient and you don't want they to tell you what to do, because that is what actually can happen, you have to really connect with your patient, make them understand you that maybe they don't have or they don't have the answer to everything in the internet. So you have to really make them understand that what we have studied for 10 years or maybe 20, if there is an older doctor, but is like different from what internet can find the information, and it's not the same. By Googling or using AI, you can touch the patient, you can actually feel what they feel, so it's different. But you need to connect with your patient to maybe have a better relationship.
No, I think you're absolutely right. And I think, to your point, this sacrifice is a lot, right? It's not just time, it's not just effort. But I will say, from what I've seen, is that a lot of people are also not willing to they prefer to have jobs that pay more, even within the medical field. You see a lot of people, in my opinion, doing more private practice or going for like the easier routes where you can get not just insurance, but more people willing to pay out of pocket. So that route. I say this because even here where I'm living now, I hear a lot of doctors who choose to no longer work in hospitals but do private practice, and then you have a shortage of specialties because everyone's trying to do, I don't know, skincare or whatever people are paying for more, right? I'm sure you've seen similar trends. How do we solve for that? Because we cannot have everyone do skincare.
Yeah.
So I don't know, what do you talk about that with your peers?
I think, well, in Peru, maybe what I can say is when you work in a hospital, you get to see more cases, more diseases. It's where you learn more. If you want to learn more, you have to be in a hospital. In private practice, like things are sometimes like a little bit easier. It's like you don't get to see strange diseases, something like that. So it's like, if you really like it, maybe you won't stop working in hospitals and you can combine both. I also work in private practice, so I like working in both things.
I see.
But when you only want, maybe if you are only thinking of money, maybe sometimes private practice is the solution.
So a certain amount of curiosity is needed, right?
Yes.
You have to be curious enough to learn more, to see more, to want to learn more and see more.
Or be motivated by that, right?
Yeah.
Be motivated by not just the money, but also the curiosity, the wanting to help, the wanting to learn, and all of that.
Would it also be connection? So like, obviously to be a doctor, I could understand the like curiosity of learning more about medicine, about biology and all that kind of stuff. Would there also be a sense of like, you want to be a doctor because of you like the empathetic connection?
I think so. I also like helping people, so I think it's something like has something to do with medicine. So
yeah,
apart from liking biology, apart from my family, I also like helping people. So it's things like gather everything.
We need more people like you.
Yeah.
No, I think this is like, it's really, good to hear, like, people, there are still people out there that are not just super superficial or wanting to do more. What do you think is something that maybe you would want more people in the world to know more about, just the medical field that maybe people misunderstand, you know?
Well, I think people have to know that medicine is always changing. So what we know today, maybe it's not the same that we will treat maybe a disease next year. So medicine is in constant change. So they can't repeat like treatments. They have to go to the doctor. They don't have to take pills just because here in Peru, pharmacies sell pills like candies. So you talk to the pharmacist and tell them, I have pain in my throat.
Yeah.
Oh, you can take this. Or I have abdominal aches. So okay, you can take this. No? So it's something like here, it's not so controlled. So I think it's important to go to a doctor, not just take what your cousin told you or your mother told you or the pharmacist told you
Or the AI told you.
Yeah.
or the AI told you, because sometimes it can go worse with your symptoms.
I think that's really good advice. I think you're right. Things do change so quickly. Yeah.
So go to the doctor more often.
Or if you actually, have an issue, go to the doctor. Don't just self-diagnose.
Don't just self-diagnose it. Don't just ignore it. Don't just ask the internet or your mother.
Yeah. No, this is super helpful. And
I don't know if the AI it's updating every time. Maybe they are with information from 2024 and now we are in 2025. So there are things that maybe it doesn't give you the information, like the updated information. I'm not sure if all the AI get to update so quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just that. It's also like you were saying before, the AI isn't seeing you, it isn't smelling you, it isn't it's not interacting with you in all the different senses.
Touching you.
Or touching you, yes. That's always I was thinking in my head, what are all the different other senses that a human being that would have over an AI? Yeah.
So it's more holistic approach. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. That's a good way of labeling it.
Yeah. Well, I think those were all the questions I actually had. I don't know, Danny, if you had any more questions. I think, that was it. I think we learned so much, and I think it does reinforce this idea that being a doctor is really not easy. It really takes a lot more to, really want to be there to help people, to spend time out of their day and all of that. So it is a huge sacrifice. So thank you again, Pati, for you to be adding that to the world. We need more people like you for sure, like I've mentioned a couple of times. So thank you so much for your time. Also out of your busy schedule, as you get ready for travels and work and all of that, and having to do notes and whatnot, I'm sure that you have to do after. So thank you so much for your time and to speaking with us.
Thank you for inviting me. It was nice
Thank you, Patty.
It was great talking to you. I'll definitely let you know next time I'm back in Peru, which I don't know when yet, but I'll keep you posted.
Yes.
I will. Well, thank you so much for your time, and then we'll say bye.
Bye, Patty.
Have a good night.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.
Okay. All right. So, what did you think?
It was great. I mean, honestly, gastroenterologist. It's not an easy job.
No, and
because it takes, like you said, it's like the whole system that touches that.
I like the idea, what you're saying about how the brain, the gut, and
you like the idea because it might solve a lot of some issues,
I might solve a lot of some issues. Because I've also got to go to a gastroenterologist. I've been talking about this with her for 2 months now. Anyways, I think it made me think about how in this day and age to be, I don't know, it made me feel really existential for some reason, in the sense that I feel like at this point in my life, I'm looking for my life goals, and I'm trying to reinvent.
You want to mean something in this world.
I am looking for my purpose, right? Which is what every human being needs, and I felt like
go be a doctor.
And I felt like being a doctor was really
Sorry.
Jeez. I felt like being a doctor was really one of those things of because you have to have a curiosity to learn, and then also And then also how she was talking about one part of it, for her at least, was like that empathetic approach, to empathize with a human being. So it's also connecting with a human being. And it felt really existential to me. It felt like a purpose, like a meaning of life in it.
So I know you. So yesterday I received some feedback from a friend who listens to this. And we were talking about, we had an episode before about doulas, and she relatively recently gave birth. And I know we haven't debriefed on this, but she was mentioning how, like, when she was at the hospital, she was asking the doctor, like, oh, how do I manage the pain? Or how do I, like, and the doctor was like, do you have a doula? Because that's the person who can answer this. I can't, like, help you with that. Like, the way she described it was like the entire process, like the nurses, the doctors were just focused on like the labor aspect of it, but not the managing your pain or managing your experience. Like, that was not at all what they were there for, which I was like, whoa, that's like so intense.
Yeah. Which
I think the empathetic part, or the treating the other person, I don't know if it's always there.
Do you think that's what's kind of missing? Because, like, when we're talking to all the different, like, people that we talk to, especially with Mary Catherine from the doula, it has become more like
like a factory.
She said conveyor belt.
Yeah.
It's like conveyor belt.
Like,
they just do
pop babies, like, yeah.
Where was your friend?
In the U.S.
Would you know where? Like,
California.
Okay, yeah. So, like, I feel like empathy is a part that really plays in this.
But I think, I mean, it's not to diss the doctor. I think at some point they just don't have time to be empathetic. Here, as we said, doctors see patients, like, for 3 seconds. Like, honestly, here, you go to the doctor and you walk out in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
When is the time to even know my background?
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah, that makes it so the person has to go back to the doctor again sooner.
Yeah, but, like, they don't even get more information. Like, it's just like a conveyor belt. But that's because they have to see so many people in one day.
Yeah. But I'm seeing a trend with all these different, from these 3 people that we've talked to, is that it seems like there needs to be a curiosity to learn.
There has to be more than just, and then not everyone has it, I guess. So you have to be willing to put that as a priority for you.
Yeah. Things to think about.
Or to, like, dwell on, I guess.
Yeah.
In life.
Yeah.
So.
Anyways, that chat really made me feel a little bit existential. It made me feel like, and not like in a bad way, just more existential,
like,
in the sense that,
like, how do you want to contribute to this world,
Yeah, well, it felt like she had, like, she figured out her purpose or her goal and the things that she's interested in, right? Because, one of the things in life is you have to be kind of, like, curious, like, what are you curious about? What are you passionate about, right?
And you're right. Like, I think she even said, like, it requires a lot of effort to continuously be a good doctor. Because you can easily fall behind if you don't put in the effort to learn, to do masters, to do education training, to travel, to see other doctors, how they do their work, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure not everyone does that.
And that's a lot of my point, is like that the motivation, like the want to do that. You have to want to do that.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that I'm struggling with, like trying to find what I want to do.
Yeah.
And that's why I was thinking, like, it really triggered a thought in me of, like, existentialism. I was like, oh, okay,
If anyone has an idea what Danny can be doing, I mean, I gave her some ideas, but she doesn't like any of them.
What were they again? Get married? Live in a farm? No. But I have told you before, one of the things, like...
You said zoologist. That's the one I remember.
Yeah. I was thinking... I actually told my mom the other day, I was just thinking, like, if someone could ask me, like, today, what would I want to do? Because anything that I wanted to do, what would it be? And I thought about it for a while, and the only one that I could come up with to study was to study whales. Very random. Anyways, that's my retirement gig.
Instead of humans deal with whales?
I don't know. I find whales fascinating. They're fucking cool. Oh, I want to bleep that out now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But that was a good conversation with her.
Yeah.
We'll really thank her for her time, and every doctor out there saving lives. Thank you, guys.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to close it up. Don't forget to follow us on all the different social media, and we will see you next time, right?
I mean,
will we?
Yeah.
See you next time?
Keep it suspenseful. We'll see you next time or not.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.